Welcome to the American Psychological Association's Assessment Community Virtual Poster Awards. My name is Andrew Freeman, and I represent the APA Division 5 Quantitative and Qualitative Methods. Joining me in presenting these awards are David McCord from APA Division 12 Assessment Psychology Section and Lucas Driscoll from APA Division 40 Society for Clinical Neuropsychology. We are proud to celebrate the excellent work of students working in the assessment space. Please enjoy their virtual presentations.
We would like to recognize our sponsors this year. MHS, Pearson, Riverside, and WPS have supported this breakfast for many years, and we are very glad to have the Burroughs Institute join us this year. Their willingness to provide the funding for the $250 awards for our 3 student winners and for this breakfast buffet is what makes this event possible. Their generous support allows us to recognize 3 very impressive research projects with students as principals, substantial projects that contribute meaningfully to our field of assessment psychology. So we ask that you take a minute to consider how important our publisher partners are in our assessment work. Following the student presentations, we have offered our sponsors the opportunity to provide some updates and information for our assessment community. Dr. Driscoll, would you like to introduce the winners?
Absolutely. On behalf of Division 5, we have Ting Chen discussing their poster titled A Latent State Trait Analyses of Responses to the Positive and Negative Affect Schedule. On behalf of Division 12 Assessment Psychology Section, we have Catherine Perez discussing visual analysis of the top problems assessment and interclinician reliability study. And on behalf of Division 40, we have Jazz Chalk discussing their poster titled Vision and Memory in Older Adults. Let's get started with the first discussion.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ting Chen. On behalf of my co-authors, I'm happy to present our poster, Latent State Trait Analysis of Responses to the Positive and Negative Affect Schedule. The Positive and Negative Affect Schedule, or PANAS, is a 20-item instrument with 10 items addressing positive mood and 10 addressing negative mood. The purpose of our poster is to use the latent state trait analysis to estimate the reliability of each scale, as well as proportions for state, trait, method, and error effects. We administered PANAS to 369 college students on 2 occasions 1 week apart. Exploratory factor analysis showed similar factor patterns as reported in Watson et al.'s initial validation study, with each of the 10-item sets floating highly on 1 prominent factor, and the 2 factors largely uncorrelated. Descriptive statistics showed that the respondents overall endorsed the positive effect more than they did the negative, and that reliability coefficients, alpha, omega, and test-retest were similar across occasions and effect scales. We used the Lavon packaging R for the LST analysis with 2 models, the orthogonal method model, or OM, and the methods -1 model, or M-1. Both models were estimated using maximum likelihood. And with both models, trait and method effects were set equal across occasions. Major differences between the 2 models lie in how trait and method effects are defined. Whereas the trait factor in the OM model is common across all indicators, the trait factor in the M-1 model is specific to reference indicator or marker item. Method effects are uncorrelated in the OM, but correlated in the M-1 approach. Additionally, the method effects of the non-reference indicators in the M-1 approach were modeled as the regression residuals of the reference indicator trait factor. Results from both models on each effect scale showed noteworthy state, trait, and method effects, with state specificity constituting between 13.2% and 21.2% of the model observed score variances. This suggests that although directions were given for respondents to rate their mood in general, the state effects cannot be disregarded. Due to the above mentioned modeling differences, trait specificity and method specificity were not directly comparable. However, overall reliability and measurement error were comparable and similar across the 2 models. Results from analysis indicate that trait, state, and method effects all need to be carefully considered whenever we evaluate the reliability and validity of PANAS scores. For future study, we would like to investigate how results might vary with situation-specific directions. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Catherine Perez, and I'm a recent graduate of the Johns Hopkins University. And I'm really excited to share the results of our research titled The Visual Analysis of the Top Problems Assessment, an Interclinician Reliability Study. The Top Problems Assessment is designed to be an efficient strategy to identify and repeatedly assess problems identified by caregivers and youths as most important. This assessment allows for providers to focus their treatment and also keep track of changes throughout treatment. Modern electronic health record systems allow for a patient's various providers to communicate and collaborate through shared clinical documentation. Although they could be useful, efficiently communicating a patient's longitudinal clinical progress can be a challenging and lengthy process that is further complicated by interdisciplinary communication. Based on this information, we wondered if clinicians would interpret a line graph visualization of the top problems assessment similarly. And if so, this could imply a visual depiction of the top problems assessment could be used to convey important clinical progress information. In order to answer these key questions, we looked to determine the interclinician reliability of longitudinal clinical progress monitoring data through a line graph visualization of the top problems assessment. In this study, the psychologist asked the patient to identify their top 2 to 4 problem areas. The patient would then rate the severity of each problem on the 0 to 4 scale. Based on these presenting concerns, the clinician then picked out an interval, typically every 2 to 4 weeks, to reevaluate the problem areas. Line graph data was then used to guide treatment and assess outcome. This is the script we presented to the psychologist and psychology fellows. We explained they would be presented with a series of 22 sets of top problem data that they would have 20 seconds to view and rate if they viewed the data as indicating the patient was improving, staying the same, or getting worse. No training on visual analysis was provided. Here we have example top problems data. In order to analyze our data, we used Felice's Kappa to determine the inter-rater reliability for each category. So when we looked at the overall reliability across all levels, we found an overall calculated Kappa level of 0.447 and a p-value less than 0.001, suggesting a moderate agreement. Then we looked at the response of the clinicians in each category, with 1 corresponding to clinicians that rated the same graphs as being improving, 2 being the clinicians that rated the same graphs as staying stable, and 3 being the clinicians that rated the same graphs as being declining. We found that the inter-rater reliability for those improving and declining was moderate, while being fair for those that remained stable. In terms of limitations, a small sample size of clinicians, as well as them all being from the same discipline, indicate that further testing is required. In conclusion, statistically significant inter-rater reliability was noted across all levels of patient progress. The findings from the study support the notion that the visual depiction of the top problems assessment can be used as a tool to reliably and efficiently communicate longitudinal clinical progress. Future studies may include examining interclinician reliability across various fields. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jazz Chook, a doctoral student at Palo Alto University, and I'm excited to share with you the results of our research on vision and memory in older adults. Vision is strongly connected to cognitive performance, and since the pandemic, digitized cognitive assessments have become increasingly popular for evaluation purposes due to their enlarged accessibility. However, certain technology variations such as screen size or resolution can affect an individual's test performance. Utilizing data from the Health and Retirement Study database, we examine the link between participants' nearsighted vision and their subjective memory ratings in relation to their performance on a 10-word list learning task. The findings from this analysis revealed several things. First, the significant positive correlation between nearsighted vision and subjective memory suggests that older adults who experience vision challenges might also perceive their memory as less optimal, potentially impacting their overall well-being and daily activities. Second, vision impairments may subtly affect cognitive tasks involving recall and information processing. Moreover, self-reported ratings of nearsighted vision and subjective memory could serve as valuable indicators for predicting an individual's performance and identifying potential cognitive difficulties among those that experience vision issues. Overall, it highlights the importance of considering vision status in cognitive assessments, especially during web-based testing due to the variations in technology hardware that can impact performance. As such, incorporating an adaptive vision test as part of a digitized battery may be beneficial and ensure for more accurate and personalized measurements, leading to better assessment outcomes and early detection of potential cognitive decline. Thank you for listening.
Greetings from the Burroughs Center for Testing. My name is Kurt Geisinger, and I'm the director of the Burroughs Center for Testing. More than 50 years ago, when I was an undergraduate student, I heard the then APA president, George Miller, state that psychology had made two primary contributions to knowledge, that of learning and of assessment. Learning could now be thought of as behavior change, but we all know assessment. The Burroughs Center for Testing operates as a nonprofit organization with a mission to improve the science and practice of testing and assessment. As director of the Burroughs Center, a contributor to psychology for over 90 years, I would like to share what we do and the resources available to help in test selection to meet that mission. The center is best known for publishing the Mental Measurements Yearbook series over the last 85 or so years. Contributors to the Mental Measurements Yearbooks provide expert reviews of commercially available tests, reviews that help users decide what tests to administer and interpret in specific cases. Other reference volumes that we publish are Tests in Print and Pueblas Publicadas en Español, an index to tests in print, or as we call it, PPE. The third edition of PPE will be released later this year. We acknowledge also the participating test publishers as our partners in attempting to improve assessment, many of whom sponsor events to improve testing and assessment throughout the year. And there are also hundreds of test publishers who support our mission by sending us multiple copies of their tests. And our test reviews and our test in print and test and PPE descriptions are developed directly from these materials which they've provided to us. Assessment literacy is a second unit in the Burroughs Center. It offers live webinars that are recorded and made available through our video library. We will launch a new webinar series this fall on ADHD assessment. 4 presentations are scheduled in September and October of 2023. Our programming is approved to provide continuing education credit and/or continuing professional development credit through APA and NASP, and we are also recognized by New York State as a CE provider for psychologists. Psychometric consulting is the third major unit in the center. This unit works on a contractual basis with testing programs such as state education departments and licensure and certification testing agencies, again to improve the assessment quality and the use of testing in those settings. The Burroughs Center also publishes a journal, Applied Measurement in Education, sponsors lectures and so forth, all in the interest of improving the science and practice of testing. Please visit our website at burroughs.org to see some of the activities of the center. Thank you very much.
One of the things that MHS has always done, and I'm so proud of, and we continue to commit to, is we don't build tests to put people in boxes. We build assessments to understand the fundamental problems that people are having so that they can treat them, so that the information they gather from one of our tools leads to better treatments and outcomes monitoring. In all of that, it's essential that we are not discriminating based on gender, race, ethnicity, opportunity, socioeconomic status. That our assessments are built with culture bias-free items, with psychometrics that demonstrate no bias within the scoring mechanisms, that they're deployed on platforms that are accessible to all. If you don't have a desktop, can you access it on a mobile device? And finally, in a way that people understand how when they're rating people using some of our tools, how their individual unconscious biases may creep into the ratings. And so we provide support and training to ensure that people rate in a fair and consistent manner. All of those things are fundamentally important to creating equal opportunities for all to get treatment, for those treatments to be effective, and to change the outcomes and change the lives of those involved. It's been an incredible journey, not just for the organization, but for me. I've learned a lot, we've grown together, and I'm so proud to be part of this organization and so excited about what the future holds.
Hello, I'm Ben Clares, a product manager here at Pearson. We have some exciting new resources and products that I'd like to share. The Multidimensional Personality Questionnaire, otherwise known as the MPQ, is a new product launching this November. The MPQ is a 256-item broadband measure of normal range personality traits. This assessment builds on a long history of research use and features new nationally representative norms and updated scales. The MPQ also has an interpretive report specifically designed for pre-employment screening in public safety settings. This report provides both a pre-offer and post-offer comparison group option. The MPQ can be used in conjunction with the MMPI-3 for a more valid and complete measure of broadband personality traits. Also new is training for the MMPI-3's Public Safety Candidate Interpretive Reports. This advanced on-demand workshop focuses on using the MMPI-3 in combination with the MPQ. It also uses collateral and background information alongside clinical interview findings to determine a candidate's psychological suitability. As I'm sure you're aware, there's been an increased need for mental health support in the wake of COVID-19. ADHD and autism diagnoses are also on the rise. It is critical to have the right tools to identify and treat both the disorders themselves and the issues commonly surrounding them. Everyone on my team is committed to making sure you've got the most reliable tools at your disposal, so let's work together to help you and your clients thrive. In the meantime, be sure to explore the new and updated resource pages for autism, ADHD, and mental health on the Pearson website. Thank you for your time.
At Riverside Insights, we partner with psychologists and educators worldwide to help them better understand and serve their clients and students through our industry-leading clinical testing solutions. For more than 80 years, we've worked with eminent researchers to ensure our assessments reflect the most innovative, valid, and reliable measures. Determine an individual's strengths and weaknesses, and capture the most diagnostically useful interpretations of cognition, achievement, and oral language with the WJ4 suite of assessments. For your early learners, measure developmental milestones, assess foundational reading and math skills, and analyze strengths and weaknesses within and among cognitive and academic domains with our comprehensive early childhood portfolio. Use our best-in-the-business multilingual assessments to assess language proficiency, measure developmental strengths and learning opportunities, and evaluate learning difficulties in English language learners. Use our test to identify special education eligibility, diagnose learning, cognitive and developmental disabilities, create IEPs and intervention plans, evaluate mental health, and provide insight into an individual's overall strengths and weaknesses. Continue learning by exploring our website at riversideinsights.com for access to our extensive library of professional development webinars, white papers, blogs, and best practice resources. Riverside Insights believes all individuals can excel if we know their aptitude, skills, and strengths, and are committed to identifying opportunities for all learners to thrive.
I think all of us here at WPS, I don't think there's anybody I haven't talked to who haven't been affected by some psychological or educational difficulty by somebody else they know in their life. But if we could save one child by early intervention, then we've done our job.
My wife is a school teacher. She's always known she wanted to be a school teacher. Generally, you have 1 or 2 school psychologists servicing huge districts. The need is there, and we can support them by producing the assessments that can help them do what they do.
We really do care about the work that we do, how we're doing it, who we're doing it for. Listening is really important just so that we can understand what the needs are.
Can we assist practitioners in helping the people that need help? And can that information help change the course of their life in a positive way? Our primary service is towards the practitioners who are out there every day, extraordinarily dedicated, school psychologists, occupational therapists, speech language pathologists, social workers.
You can do interactive assessments with the person in front of you. You can do a developmental history with the parents or caregivers.
We have so many extraordinary individuals that care so much about their work.
You do right by your employees, the employees are going to do right by your customers. We want to make sure that we are creating a diverse, inclusive, and equitable place for employees to work, but also for the clients.
We're looking to the future, we're looking at how can we serve more children and families.
It's more than just a diagnosis. It's about understanding the person in front of you.
Your work matters. It's all leading to something that's going to positively impact a family and a child in need.
Thank you for joining us for these virtual presentations. For anyone attending APA's annual convention in Washington, D.C. this year, please join us for the in-person Assessment Community Breakfast and Awards on Friday, August 4th from 8 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. at the Marriott Marquis Level 4 Capitol Room. For students watching this video, we look forward to seeing your hard work submitted as a poster next year. Thank you.